premiere of a book that Nelson and I like a whole lot called Wendell, His Cat, and the Progress of Man by V. Campidoni. And you should all check it out if you like this. Okay.
Wendell worked.
Wendell worked in a very small office surrounded by a very big civilization called mankind. Mankind was constantly on the move and forever progressing, and Wendell's job in this civilization was to do nothing. Wendell worked hard at doing nothing, and hard work was a virtue.
Wendell's inspiration to work hard was his boss. Wendell's boss was a fine man with many great qualities. Wendell's boss would just sit in his office and think of ways to make Wendell's life easier.
During his lunch break, Wendell would go to his favorite restaurant where the restaurant worker would say, "Hi, what can I do for you? And have a great day." And
one day I'm going to burn this place down with everyone in it. After a hearty meal, Wendell would go to the park and watch the children play. Wendell was captured by their innocence and charm and believed that they were the future of mankind.
while at the park, Wendell would visit
The tree.
the tree. Wendell liked the tree because it made him feel like he was a part of a living, breathing planet, vibrating with energy and pulsating with a great life force that surrounded everything everywhere.
Wendell's tree was big and strong and proof that life,
In spite of the never-ending march of civilization and the progress of man,
Was the most
powerful and most
sacred
sacred.
thing in the universe.
After lunch, Wendell would return to work.
And after work, Wendell would go home. At home, Wendell did many things, but mostly, Wendell would watch
Television. Wendell was quite fond of situation comedies and tense police action dramas. Wendell also enjoyed watching the news because it kept him informed of the never-ending march of civilization and the progress of man.
Wendell also had a cat.
Guy Pan.
Guy Pan was small and dark and loved to play all day long. Sometimes she would pounce on Wendell's head, and Wendell would say,
Ouch!
Or,
Stop that, cat!
but Guy Pan would not stop.
In fact, even when Wendell was not in the mood to play,
Guy Pan wanted to play even more.
one day Guy Pan began to watch television.
During the situation comedy, Guy Pan asked Wendell,
Why are those people bleeding?
and Wendell said,
Because someone has stabbed them repeatedly.
and during the tense police action drama, Guy Pan asked Wendell,
Why are those people bleeding?
and Wendell said,
Because someone has stabbed them repeatedly.
and during the news, Guy Pan asked Wendell,
Why are those people bleeding?
and Wendell said,
Because someone has stabbed them repeatedly.
And after many hours of television, Guy Pan sat and stared at Wendell.
Is everything okay?
Guy Pan said nothing.
The next day, Guy Pan remained silent.
And the day after that,
After 3 days of silence, Guy Pan spoke.
Wendell, what kind of world do we live in?
Wendell said nothing.
the next day, Wendell returned home from work and could not find Guy Pan.
He looked everywhere and everywhere.
Wendell became very concerned and decided to ask his neighbor if he had seen Guy Pan.
What do you want?
Asked the neighbor.
Hello, my name is Wendell. And I was wondering if you had seen my cat.
Who are you?
I'm your friendly neighbor.
Said Wendell.
And I was wondering if you'd seen my cat. She is small and dark, and she loves to play all day long.
What do you want?
I was wondering if you had seen my cat. Her name...
It was clear to Wendell that his neighbor was much too busy
Studying the progress of man.
and was not concerned with little lost cats.
Wendell then decided to call the police and ask them to help him find his cat.
Where is the riot?
there is no riot. I've called you because I've lost my cat, and I was hoping you might help me find her.
Where are the bodies?
There are no bodies. I have simply lost my cat. Her name is Guy Pan. She is small and dark.
Where are those who wish to be beaten senseless?
There's no one here who wishes to be beaten. I've lost my cat.
Call us when there is
Rampage
and murder.
Murder.
Very well.
Said Wendell,
It was clear to Wendell that the police were much too busy
protecting the never-ending march of civilization and could not be expected to search for little lost cats.
But Wendell had another idea.
He would call the television news people and ask them to help him find his cat.
Tell us about the blood and the carnage.
Asked the television newsman.
There is no blood and carnage.
Said Wendell.
I've lost my cat. Her name is Guy Pan.
Tell us about those who were killed and how well you knew them and what good people they were learn how tragic this all seems.
I have simply lost my cat.
Tell us about their agony. Tell us about the screaming and the cries for help. Tell
Tell
us
us.
how no one listened and no one cared and life being snuffed out.
Tell us
about how cheap life has become.
Perhaps.
Said Wendell.
It was clear to Wendell that the television newsman was much more concerned with the progress
Progress of man than with little lost cats.
The next day, Wendell went to work.
Wendell's boss noticed that Wendell was not quite himself and called him into his office.
Is everything okay?
Asked Wendell's boss.
No,
said Wendell.
I have lost my cat and I cannot find her.
Say no more, my good friend. I know exactly how you feel.
Do you?
Yes, I love cats.
Really?
Of course.
Said Wendell's boss.
I had a cat once when I was a child. I enjoyed very much playing with her. Sometimes I would spin her around by her tail very quickly, then release her and watch her go flying across the yard. Sometimes I would take a hammer and pound on her head until she blacked out.
Wendell said nothing,
When lunchtime came, Wendell went to his favorite restaurant.
only to find that it had been burned to the ground.
I went to the park and saw one of the children.
Where are your friends?
Asked Wendell.
I have killed them all.
Said the child.
Wendell then went to visit the tree.
And found that his tree,
The tree that made him feel like he was part of a living, breathing planet.
Vibrating with energy and pulsating with a great life force that surrounded everything, everywhere.
The tree that was big and strong and proof that
Life, in spite of the never-ending march of civilization and the progress of man,
was the most
Powerful and the most
sacred thing in the universe.
had been cut down.
and Wendell grew tired.
And Wendell thought about the world he lived in.
And Wendell stood up. The
progress of man.